The contrast was striking. Emma's subtle but sharp responses cut through Meghan's fluff like a hot knife through butter. You could feel the tension rising, and it was almost like watching a car crash in slow motion. Meghan, oblivious to the growing discomfort, continued her monologue, pushing her narrative as if it were a product launch, rather than a conversation. At one point, Meghan dropped the line about finding joy in the mundane. A catchy phrase, sure, but utterly hollow when you consider the vast privilege she operates from. Emma, with a raised eyebrow, simply countered with, "Some of us find joy in paying bills on time and getting kids off to school." It was a reality check that Meghan seemed completely unprepared for. The podcast was supposed to be an insightful exchange, a chance to connect over shared experiences. Instead, it turned into a showcase of Meghan's desperate need for validation. Each anecdote felt rehearsed, as if she were ticking boxes on a self-help checklist. "Yes, Meghan, we get it. You're a mom who cares about her children, but the way you present it reeks of insincerity." As Meghan rambled on about her mindful parenting, a term that's been thrown around more than a hot potato, Emma couldn't help but share the exasperation we all felt. She dropped a nonchalant remark about how every parent has their moments of chaos, and you could almost hear the collective sigh of relief from parents everywhere. Finally, someone was cutting through the nonsense. Meghan took that moment to pivot back into her own narrative, sharing an anecdote about her children's unique experiences. But let's be real, when you're Meghan Markle, even mundane moments are exaggerated to the extreme. It's as if she believes that by virtue of her celebrity, her children's experiences are inherently more interesting than anyone else's. Spoiler alert, they're not. Emma's patience was wearing thin, and it showed. The eye rolls, the slight smirks, it all painted a picture of someone who was done with the act. She was there for a conversation, but Meghan seemed to be more focused on crafting her next Instagram post. At one point, Meghan mentioned her conscious uncoupling from the royal family, and Emma, with a dry wit, shot back, "Well, I can't say I've had to uncouple from anything other than a bad Wi-Fi connection." The audience was loving it. They were here for a real discussion, not a staged performance. Emma's authenticity shone through, contrasting sharply with Meghan's scripted lines. The dynamic was palpable. You could practically see the gears turning in Emma's mind as she navigated the conversation with the grace of a seasoned pro. It was clear that Emma was trying to get Meghan to engage on a deeper level, to break through the veneer she kept presenting. But Meghan, bless her heart, kept dodging the punches. It was like watching someone try to juggle while riding a unicycle, impressive at first, but ultimately a disaster waiting to happen. As the podcast trudged along, Meghan continued to misjudge the room. Her anecdotes felt more like desperate attempts to garner sympathy than genuine sharing. Emma, with each passing moment, seemed less and less impressed. She was clearly there to discuss the realities of being a working mother, while Meghan was stuck in her own cloud of fairy dust and idealism. The tone shifted when Emma asked a seemingly harmless question about balancing professional life with motherhood. Meghan, sensing the opportunity to shine, launched into another tale about her busy schedule. But the truth was as clear as day, she wasn't balancing anything. She had a team of people managing her life, and her version of busy was a far cry from the reality most mothers face. Emma, unfazed, responded with, "I think we all have our own versions of busy, don't we?" It was a subtle jab, but it hit home. The dichotomy between their realities couldn't have been starker. With each passing moment, Meghan's facade began to crack. Her answers became more defensive, her body language more erratic. She was visibly uncomfortable, and it was fascinating to watch. The audience was here for the truth, and Meghan's truth was slipping through her fingers like sand. Emma capitalized on the moment, bringing the conversation back to real issues that mothers face every day. The financial strain, the emotional rollercoaster, the guilt that plagues working parents. It was a refreshing change from Meghan's curated world.